Pistons fans, what's going on? It's your boy King, man. We are here. Piston season wrap, right? Got to give you guys my version. Um, Hell of a season, great season, overachieved. Hell of a playoff series. Great time to be a Pistons fan once again. And these times haven't been around too often. If you're a younger person than I am, obviously. But we got to take it and enjoy it. And the trajectory is only pointing higher. I'm looking forward to next season for the Detroit Pistons. I'm looking forward to being in front of you guys once again as a content creator, but most of all as a fan of this team. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to be going from the past to the future. Let's talk.
Hey, King paying for gas.
All right, Pistons fans. So, great season. Great season, man. As a fan, you can't be more happy for the Detroit Pistons right now in the place we are. We had an opportunity to actually fight and win this series, but a couple of things held us back at the end of the day, which we'll get into. Listen, the Pistons are on the way up. They're on the way up. We are just getting started. It's just beginning. You know, I know it's been a tough couple of years. For us that's been Pistons fans for a long time, it's been a tough couple of decades. But there is truly something special about this team and the way it's being built. And I hope they continue to build properly around Cade Cunningham, Ivy and Duran and all those guys for the core. I hope they keep them and they continue to build around them and do this thing organically and do it the right way. Things being organic and being manufactured are always different. Manufactured things only last for a blip. They may seem like it's the highest of highs, but they don't last long. It's a flash in the pan. You know, when you do it right, you're able to sustain and, build something sustainable that's going to last for a long time. So you've seen with the Big Three era where those guys were flash in the pans. Those guys didn't win as much as people thought they were. But then you see teams that built things organically like the Golden State Warriors through the draft, and then they added the pieces they needed to go and win. And I think that's where the Detroit Pistons are. I know that's where the Detroit Pistons are simply because we've been here this entire time. You know what I'm saying? They have an opportunity to add to this roster. And, one of the players I was teasing with, Deuce earlier, and, I was talking about on the podcast was Andre Drummond. I still keep Drummond jerseys all around. And, like I said, to add him and his rebounding and to let him come here and finish his career, and it'll be full circle. Drummond is a player who obviously loves this city. We loved him from day one. He's the reason why I picked up a camera and got on YouTube. Nobody was talking Andre Drummond. I was so excited. And during that time, there was no Pistons YouTube. There was no content creators for the Pistons and anyone talking about Andre Drummond. That didn't exist. So I decided to pick up a camera and start to talk about my excitement with the Andre Drummonds of the world and the Stanley Johnsons when we got him. And look at me. I'm still here today. And it's to the point now that every single season is a new beginning. It's a new beginning for me. And it never gets old. It never gets old, man. And next season, I am really looking forward to guys like Ivy coming back and, for what the Pistons add during this offseason. We got a very, very important summer ahead of us, to put the right pieces in place to take us to the next level. This year, we were talking play-in. Some of us, like myself, were talking exactly where we were. So you're a Pistons fan for a long time and you do this for a long time like myself. You can kind of see things ahead of, before they start to happen and to unfold. And I just knew we had something special when Tom Gores made the decision to let Monty Williams go and bring in the coach and JB Bickerstaff. He was exactly the type of coach that we needed. And me watching from afar the Cleveland Cavaliers and how he developed that young backcourt and some of those big guys over there, I thought he was the perfect coach. And it turned out that's exactly what we got here in Detroit. Love everything that JB Bickerstaff is doing with this roster, man. Just deserves a lot more credit and a lot more love than he receives here in the city. So, it's very important that we keep that type of mentality and that we keep our identity and not just go off the deep end and try to just bring big names in here and, start to sell what we've built. It's very important to keep that core together and let them develop. You've seen a guy in Brunson talking about how good Asar was and how he had to make him, work for it. And, you don't get that too often, so Asar can be a very, very unique and special player here in Detroit. And his development is very important, but it's very important for the Detroit Pistons to be patient. So, yeah, man, where do I start, right? This season, when it started, it was, obviously a lot of question marks, right? A lot of people and a lot of fans didn't think we would win more than 25 games this season. And that's being generous because a lot of people didn't think we would win that. So, obviously, y'all know I was one of the few to put out here that we would win 40 games this season. The reason why I felt that way is simply because I knew the only thing that we needed was coaching. We had talent here, but coaching was the missing piece. Someone who actually gave a damn, someone who wasn't here to, collect a paycheck. That's what we needed as Pistons fans. And we see the results. We just got done watching a gritty series against a New York Knicks team with two superstars. And us being down players in Ivy and Isaiah Stewart, we still took every single game to the last possession. That is extremely impressive. And that is a historic turnaround for our Detroit Pistons. So, like I said, it's been a blast covering this team this season. You got to see the growth in Duran, from the beginning of the season to where he ended the season. Was almost like night and day. Had a really tough start to the season, and he turned things around. And next thing you know, he became a double machine like we expected him to be. But taking steps forward, and we got an opportunity to see K play a whole lot of basketball this season. A couple of early derailments in the season in his career due to injury. And we got an opportunity to see him play a long and lengthy season this season. So we all know his development is just as important. Obviously, he has more room to grow and more room to learn some things, especially when it comes to playoff series, as he continues to take that step into being a superstar player. but we got a chance to see him go to his first All-Star game this year. We got a chance to see Malik Beasley be the best shooter in the NBA. We got an opportunity to see the resurgence of Tobias Harris, because he had a tough start to the season too, but he turned into the player that we went out and signed him for. Plus more. He was even a better version of himself this time around than he was when he was here the first time. And that was being a leader in the locker room, a veteran for this team, but also very productive for us. Showing up, rallying his team in big moments. Just, man, when you look at the contract situation, you're looking at guys like Dennis Schroeder, you're looking at Tim Hardaway Jr., you're looking at Beasley. I'm going to keep all of these guys, right? And it obviously depends on what type of contracts these guys are going to demand. And if they want to return with the type of environment that we created here in Detroit, I don't think it's going to be a question of if they want to return. I just think it's if we can afford them to return. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason. Langdon has a tough offseason, to decide who's going to be here and who's not, and how he's going to reface this team. You don't want to do too much construction to a team because you can kill everything that you built that way. So, who do we bring in is the biggest question. Who's the new faces, right? Obviously, we go into the draft, but when it comes to the offseason free agency, who can we bring here to help propel this team to the next level? That's the first part. We all hear the names. Nas Reed. There's even some Zion Williamson fans out there. It's from Collins to Jaren Jackson Jr. to, there's so many names floating around there already. And where I think the Detroit Pistons probably end up going is adding a guy that can give you a scoring punch, but at the same time keeping it consistent with adding a Pistons type of guy. There's a certain type of guy that's in our locker room, and you have to fit that mold. I think the consistency and the standards are the same all the way across from our sports teams right now when it comes to either the Pistons, Lions, or the Tigers. You have to fit in with our gritty mentality, our Detroit mentality, at the same time be productive. So his choice is going to be very, very interesting, and I can't wait to see it. Man. So, but enough about all the technical things, man. You as a fan this season have been absolutely amazing. From my own personal subscribers and followers to just watching the fandom at the arena night in and night out. LCA has been a constant improvement this season, all the way up into the playoffs where it was absolutely electric. The content creation scene is so much huger now today, especially during the right time where the Pistons are good. Like I said, when I was starting, it was the dark ages, and we had to be excited and bring in guys, So that's why I say those Drummond days, man, he was the excitement that made me pick up this camera, So when you see guys come from across the water over here, as a Pistons fan who started right around the time I started YouTube, becoming a Pistons fan, or a player that's all the way in Korea that started his Pistons fandom because of he was a Tracy McGrady fan, and Tracy McGrady came to the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? There's different eras of fandom, and that's what makes it so fun and unique. You see the other teams involved with each other. We got a chance to see Pistons Jack throw a first pitch for the Tigers, and he's not even a Tigers fan. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he's a Pistons fan and these teams, these two organizations are close together, you got to see that opportunity, however anybody feels about it or not. it's just the fact that our teams are together here in Detroit is the biggest pet peeve of mine. At the end of the day, the reason why I came onto YouTube was to create our own media here in Detroit, our own togetherness, because ESPN and all of those sports shows was slamming us back then constantly. So that was the first reason I said, man, we need a voice. And like I said, to see our teams together like that at each other's games, you see all the Lions at the Pistons game, all the Tigers at the Pistons game, and vice versa around, you know. So it's huge, man. It's huge to see, you know, some people in the city get some recognition when it comes to, you know, all the hard work they've put in over the years. Whether it's Ty Mopkins and his brilliance in creating, you know, the most, creative and iconic starter jackets, and, you know, whether it's you look at Woodward Sports and how fast they came up, and you know, now you have guys sitting in the media rooms like Kuka Hill, and you know, of course we got Eric Vincent and some of these guys. Pistons Talk, look where he is today. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. So to see these guys get this exposure, for me personally, I'm happy with that, because that's exactly why I picked up a microphone and said we got to start doing things for ourselves here in Detroit. So I want you guys to take that at heart. You know, I've seen the comments, I've seen the messages, and it's not about, you know, who the Pistons decide to put up to the forefront. It's not about, you know, whoever puts anybody anywhere. You know, my time will come when my time will come. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a jealous person. Anybody that's did content with me or watch my content, they'll tell you that I want everybody to win. It's enough room for everybody to win. So my time will come when my time comes. Right now, let the young bulls do what they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be here regardless. You know, it's a marathon. It's not a race. It's a marathon. So I appreciate y'all concerns, though. I really do. But it's been a little loud lately because I'm getting a lot of messages, man. But y'all have to look at it as, you know, the same way that I do. We have something here in Detroit, and it's getting better and it's getting bigger. So let's just enjoy it. Let's enjoy it while we have it. Let's not try to tear each other down. At the end of the day, my love is for everybody out here. With that said, it's been a hell of a season, and immediately we'll be getting and we'll be talking about the draft and everything else. Business content is definitely going to continue at a high rate, so you guys can look forward to that. And also appreciate all the congratulations for the new birth that I just added to my family. I've also been seeing that a lot too. So yeah, I've been jabbering on too long. Let me get off of here. I appreciate you guys, man. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.